All right, and welcome back. Those interviews are kind of cool. We just added those in, and here we are ready to start our next fight. Justin Doty and Sean Hanson. Sean in the blue and Justin in the red.
Again, this is going to be a longsword fight, our first longsword pro fight here. Should be a ton of fun to watch. Justin loves to play a slow sniping style. Sean stays at range, but when he closes, he likes to close big, and he likes to get a lot of points.
Yeah, and I think something that we're both going to see from them is they do have a similar repertoire of moves, although I think Sean has more of them. But we're going to see that high HEMA-based attack where you flip back and forth. Was that the Überhau?
Yeah, it's the Twerhau.
Twerhau. There you go.
So
much German. Very confusing.
Very German-based HEMA fighting. Should be, again, a lot of fun. I think one thing that we're going to have to watch out for, Sean does have a little bit of history of burning himself out.
It's true. We've positioned the trash can right here at the side of the list in case Sean needs to throw up. Just a real possibility.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
Feeling out each other's range. Sean with a little bit more of aggressive stance. Sean making the attack to the hands. Oh, nice. Those big, powerful strikes off Justin's arms.
One thing that I will say is Sean can swing. He is a very powerful swinger.
He really puts his whole body into those movements, as you can see. Both fighters being very technical right now.
Absolutely. With as many hard blows as Sean is playing, though, I wonder how he's going to be able to hold it up.
We'll see. He's getting good mechanics and utility out of movement of his body, but of course, anytime you're moving your body, you're burning energy.
Oh, a good fake and going low.
Sean's also getting really good returns on those in terms of blocking and knocking Justin's sword aside. Not always capitalizing on them, though.
Oh.
Now we come into the close. We almost got some exciting clinch work. I know they both want it. We'll see if it happens.
Moved in heavy for that clinch. Justin does a great job of denying it and getting it back out of range.
Which I think is probably a good call. I think Sean is superior grappler.
Ooh, a nice very good fake and a big kick. Now we move into that clinch. Let's see how it goes.
Knees from Justin. Both fighters throwing knees, getting in close in that clinch.
And Sean rolls
both
it.
of them find the ground.
Takedown.
Sean takes the dominant position.
But he's able to roll it. Gets one punch in there.
2 punches. And doesn't look like he scored very many points off that, but that was who actually initiated that takedown? That looked like Sean started going down. And
I think Sean looked for the takedown and he slipped. Justin then was able to reverse it. And then
Sean reversed that, I think.
And then Sean reversed that.
I'm not even sure how those points would work out.
I think Justin is going to get the points for the takedown, but then Sean should have gotten most of them back.
I think Sean may even have ended up 1 point up out of that. It's hard to say. From 2 strikes versus 3 for a takedown, so.
Also, depends on how the judges do it. I think he left his knee in between Justin's legs. That's technically not a dominant position.
That's true, although it certainly looked dominant. Well, and one shot.
Both fighters starting to
there
get
at the
tired,
end.
probably ready for the rest. Sean taking some big breaths. A really good first round. A lot of solid exchanges.
It was very pretty.
Fun to watch, and honestly, a lot of good blocks. It's hard to know how many of those are actually landing.
Yeah, it was a very clean, very technical longsword round. Even the grappling, when they got into the clinch, you were seeing a lot of clean knees as opposed to a lot of hugging. And they were working the whole time, so it was really good to see.
I think just on volume, if I had to guess, I would go towards Sean, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw. I wouldn't entirely be surprised to see it go the other way, but I think it would be Sean. Yep, and I am getting confirmation now that Sean did take the round.
Something that I think may have worked in Sean's favor here is Justin is, I think, a little bit more used to the IMCF rule set for dueling.
Yes.
And I'm seeing him catch some of those shots on his hands.
Yes, and those hand shots do count in HMB and in pro fights. So.
And so, maybe about 1 out of every 3 of those blocks he was throwing was looking like it was coming towards his hand, so he could still be losing points on those.
Absolutely. I think my big question is going to be now seeing where their energy levels are going forward. Sean with a great first round, but You
he
know,
was burning more energy.
and he's definitely throwing a lot more power. It's possible that Justin, about halfway through this round, will have a lot of energy that he can start pushing for that second half of the fight.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that Sean's kind of breathing heavy over there. Justin appears very calm, very collected. So we're going to see how this goes. On the other hand, I've seen Sean push until he absolutely has to stop and just make it through. So
Yes.
who knows?
All right. Let's get it started for round 2.
Here we go.
Heard Sean take a deep breath right before that round starts.
Both fighters being pretty cautious right now.
Sean with some nice little footwork there, nice lunge.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice step back and strike. That was beautiful.
Absolutely. Sean knowing his distance real well, playing that range real well.
Yeah, but you watch Justin, he just did the same thing. So they're both pretty good at their footwork here.
Again, he lands that fake and throws to the hand.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that Justin's aware that that's happening. Sean came out ahead in that exchange.
Yep, Sean taking one hit there. Everything else was blocked. These exchanges are incredibly tight.
Now that was an interesting exchange because I think actually Justin trapped his sword and then returned to his head. I don't know that Sean's shot actually was good there. You can just see the energy coming off those shots.
Yes, you see Sean with these huge, powerful shots, but they're fast and they're clean.
That's true. Are they maintainable? I can kind of feel Sean flagging.
Yep. Again, deep breath taken by Sean.
Justin should really start pushing right about now by throwing lots of high volume snipes just like that.
Oh, and another
shot to the hands though.
Yep.
There you go, Justin.
I'll tell you what though, as much as Sean might be wearing out a little bit,
he's pushing right now.
Little confusion right there. If Justin doesn't start pushing him, it's not going to matter too much.
That's right. Really, Justin has to keep up the pressure at this point and score those snipe shots and get out without being struck in order to run up his point. If he can keep doing that, he'll be okay. That's what Justin kind of has to look for. Well, that last shot was not particularly great.
Absolutely. Both breathing hard now. Yeah. So a really good second round. I don't know who won.
That's hard to say. I feel like Sean dominated the first half of that round, and then I would say Justin dominated the second half of it, but I think Justin came out ahead in the second half. Did he come out far enough to pull ahead round outside of the margin of error? I don't think so.
I think I agree with you. I think I'm leaning towards a draw for that round. But
and honestly, a draw for this round would not mean good things for Sean because he is visibly getting more gas than Justin at this point.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt, especially if Justin has the energy to press it. And it was a draw.
It was a draw. So now the question really comes down to how deep is Sean's gas tank? How deep is Sean's gas tank, and what can he do with the next 2 minutes? Because if Justin can come out and really start pushing, he could get a 2-point victory out of this next round.
Absolutely. Though for Sean, he knows now 2 minutes left.
Yeah, that's true.
There's something nice as a fighter when you're tired in the second round. You know you have a whole round left. When you're tired in the third round, you can see the finish line. Sometimes it's easier to push and drive for that last bit.
Although sometimes it depends who's hitting you. If you get to the 30-second mark of that third round and the guy is just, every time he hits you, he's just teeing off on you. It's like, this is another 90 seconds of this sounds awful.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is the fighters do not know the scoring and who has won.
That's correct.
So I think the smartest thing for Sean to do here is to play it very slow at range, try to snipe, exchange a hit or two, and really take his time. But he may not know that he's up right now, so I don't know that he's going to know that he needs to do that.
Well, and honestly, that might be his best play, even if he had all of the information, right? Because right now, what he doesn't want to do is lose big in this round by gassing out.
Absolutely.
That's his worst outcome, no matter what the score is. Okay, both fighters being a little cautious. Trying to get each other's range.
In the time, hard to tell if that actually scored a point.
Missed kick from Sean. Return to the sword.
Ooh, good return blow there.
Lots of shots to the blade so far. Not seeing a whole lot of points scored at this point.
I believe they came out even.
Yeah. Good blocking from both fighters.
Oh, a good push in. There's 2 points.
Nice exit shot from Sean. He's still putting a lot of power into those. But you can see it costing him. Justin's got to make something happen at this point.
Good snipe by Justin, return by Sean.
Michael, they're both swinging Tilkos. There's a question from the chat about what those swords were, and they're both Tilkos.
Oh, good hand snipe by Sean.
Oh, nice
up
punch
for a couple
from Sean.
punches. Nice. I'm doing a good job of almost avoiding those, but it looked like one of them landed with some force.
That's true. Oh, nice kick
good
from
kick,
Justin.
but-
Oh, a nice return from Sean.
Ooh, the return kick, I believe that kick did land to the forearm, though, unfortunately, which would not count. It was hard to tell.
A lot of shots from Justin, but I don't think any points scored.
I see them trying to burn out. Sean is still
Nice overhand from Justin.
Getting that
and a
clinch.
grapple. And let's see.
boom.
Oh, and he skipped up. Oh, I think Justin's visor may have come up.
Oh. Make her fight again. Justin's visor popped up slightly there.
Some confusion there about the clock.
The last
Justin
seconds left.
looking for
We'll see
some
what's
sniping
happening.
shots.
And the fight is over. Yell it louder, louder. Stop fight! All right. That was a heck of a fight. Looking at that third round, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Justin did enough to take it.
No, I feel like what Justin was doing was working well. There just was not enough volume.
Absolutely, and it's hard to be in that helmet. Justin has a tendency to look calm and collected even when he's fairly tired. There's a good chance he was flagging a lot more than it looked like, but from what I saw, it felt like he should have been pressing a lot harder on Sean.
During the last 60 seconds of that final round, he really just needed to put everything he had into it and go. And looking at him now, he's still walking around pretty comfortably. I feel like he just didn't quite push hard enough.
Very likely. I'm surprised Sean made it to the end, still throwing that much heat in all of his shots.
Yeah, you could definitely see the power flagging off there in the third round, but it was still full body cutting motions.
Yeah.
Whereas what we see from Justin, and typically the meta in Longsword for Buhurt tends to be more popping shots, more tip heavy shots.
With Sean did not win the first one, it's been 3 draws.
Oh.
He was pointing at you saying when you're like, it might be a draw. He was saying that's what it was.
Oh.
3 draws.
Oh, well.
So
Okay.
it appears that I misunderstood the ref time. All 3 rounds were within 20%.
You know, that's not terribly surprising.
It isn't. Apparently, the ref heard me say that there was a possibility that first round was a draw, and I misunderstood what he was saying. But it.
3 draws, we let the counters go.
Okay, so
That's how we're doing. You're like, that's
All right.
that's
what we've gone to, according to head ref Elise Ellington, is after 3 draws, the counters are getting together and having a discussion about who they'd like to win.
If you disagree, find her on Facebook.
That's Elise Ellington on Facebook, and you can send her hate mail there.
What?
3 draws.
Well,
They're working it out.
I believe they have come to a decision.
Go, 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 go.
We are now in as much confusion as you are, because we don't know who won either.
Winner,
Sean
Sean.
Hanson.
An incredibly close fight and a really fun fight to watch as well.